Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest edition of Axcess Baseball Weekly. I'm your host, Vinny Messana. We have a special guest here today, Travis Bruinsma. He just recently set the program record at Maritime for the most wins in a single season with 7. So first off, Travis, thanks for coming on the show and taking your time.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm ready to go.
Great. So let's backtrack a little bit before we get to this season. I know I watched you pitch in high school, Connecticut. You set the school record with 13 wins in a single season, and you guys won the Long Island Championship. So now, looking back on it 2 years ago, what's kind of like your lasting impression from that championship run?
It was pretty crazy. I mean, the year before we got knocked out the first round, and the next year we only had 3 pitchers mainly, and we just kept winning and winning, and then playoffs hit, and we just kept. The bats woke up. Aaron, Morris, Brem, they just were smashing. Henji was doing pretty good, and then a couple upsets happened during the season, and it kind of made us closer together. And I think that's like what really brought us together to win the championship.
It was really a season to remember. You guys were firing on all cylinders. I know when I watched you. So now, getting back to this season. You guys have a special team, it seems like.
Yeah.
So what has it really been? What has it been about this team that's really allowed you guys to take off? And now, as you get ready for the postseason, you guys are ready to clinch a second seed in the Skyline Conference.
I think it's our hitting. I mean, we hit really well. Matt Costley, he's hitting, I don't know, like 370 around there. And then we have Detto and Brian McLaughlin. He's ranked 10th in the nation for batting average. Semler just crushes the ball. Aaron. So our first 6 guys is just guaranteed runs. And
it's just dangerous lineup.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And Brian just crushes the ball. It's crazy. He sends the balls into the river. It's
7
insane.
home runs already.
Yeah, it's crazy. And if you get Matt Costley on base, it's a guaranteed run because Detto usually gets him over. So if we're coming because this season it's mostly away games, so we've been starting off the game, 1-2 runs before we all have to go out. So it's pretty good.
Makes your job a little bit easier on the mound, right? So now, what was it about Maritime that made you want to come here? Because I'm sure coming out of high school, you had plenty of options. You threw the ball very well, had a great season, and dominated Long Island. So talk a little bit about the Maritime program.
Yeah, well, Maritime has a specific program. It's the regiment, so you can't really get that anywhere else. And my major is going to be marine transportation, so I want to be a boat captain when I graduate. And it's a Coast Guard license, so you can't get that anywhere else. So it really narrowed down to that school what I wanted to do. And I didn't really want to go to another school and not know what I wanted to do. So I chose Maritime because I knew what I wanted to do, and I was also getting the opportunity to play baseball. So it was a win-win for me.
Yeah, right place at the right time, and I'm sure the coaching staff was doing jumping jacks when they knew that you were coming. So what are some of your goals now moving forward where the playoffs are next weekend? You guys are kind of in uncharted territory where you have a chance to win the Skyline Conference, and that's something that the program hasn't done. So what are some of your goals moving forward now?
Our goals are just to keep winning, playing small ball, when we have to, and then just keep winning games. I know Charlie Barbieri came here 3 years ago, and the program was pretty much, it was nothing. There was, they never had even a chance to make the Skyline Championship, and in 3 years, he's completely changed the whole program with Frank Rodriguez. He's an Major League Baseball player. We have John Corey. He's on the Ducks, and they're changing the whole thing and making the team a lot stronger than it ever was. I don't think we have Brian. He was 4 years ago. You asked him if he ever thought that he would make it to a Skyline Championship 4 years ago. He would laugh at you because he's our first baseman, and in the first year he was pitching. So it's pretty crazy that now we have a legit staff, a legit baseball team, and I think we have a legit shot at winning the Skyline.
Yeah, I played at Farmingdale, and I know what it's like, how intense it is. So what are some of your takeaways from now having faced all the top teams in the conference on what the Skyline Conference is all about?
I think it's good that we faced a lot of the good teams earlier because now I know what their weaknesses are, what they're not. So if we face Farmingdale in the championship, I know how to throw them.
Mm-hmm.
I know I lost to St. Joe's, but now I'll know how to throw it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was good.
And you know what all these teams are about now, how high intensity these matchups as well too. Is that something that stood out? I know I was at St. Joe's and those fans really came out in full force. It seemed like they have a very passionate fan base. Same thing with Old Westbury as well.
Yeah,
So
it was a pretty rowdy game. You know, like our coach said, we'll beat them when it counts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the goal.
All right, Travis. Well, very impressed with your work so far this year. Best of luck the rest of the way, and thanks for coming on the show.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that's all the time that we have for this week. I'm your host, Vinny Messana, our special guest, Travis Bruinsma. Everybody make sure to stay tuned to AxcessBaseball.com, as now we're getting into full-fledged with postseason coverage of the Skyline Conference, and the week after that will be the ECC. So make sure to follow us along on our Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram. Have a good week, everyone.
This episode of Axcess Baseball was brought to you by Pro X Formula's Super Powder, all in one protein blend.